view of the whole house. And then once I do that, then all of a sudden, if I'm doing somebody's garage and a lot of the things in the garage I feel could be in the basement based on their routine or whatever, then their basement becomes, a decluttered mess.
Right.
So when I go on site, I see what's happening with a certain area. Once we both agree that this is the area that I should start in, because it's not always the area that may be the bane of their existence, I might need to fix another area first before I can get that one in order, because they both feed off each other. So, and honestly, I start categorizing first and foremost. I need to see what's going on in the space. I need to get my arms around it. I need to just understand what the scene is, because quite frankly, me going through your stuff is going to help me understand your routine, what you guys are involved in, what is coming in the house, why is it coming in the house. Then when I put all the categories together, then I usually bring in the client and be like, okay, let's declutter per category, like I did with you, Wendy. When I took everything out, I don't want to jump ahead, but when we took everything out and put things in the categories, you came up to us, you're like, okay, great. What do I do now? I'm like, work on your shampoos. Go through this section,
right.
Then go through this section, then go through this section. So each category needs to be brought together. And then that is when I present to my client the decluttering time, because it's a lot easier to clutter when all the categories are together.
Yeah. And it was so much fun it was actually so much fun doing it with you. If you just tuned in, I'm talking to Stephanie, Get It Done by Stephanie. She'll organize anything and everything. What's the hardest thing for people to eliminate? Because I know for me, I showed you, I'm like, oh my God, it's my kids. Obviously I'm keeping the cap and the diploma, but I'm like, do I need to keep the gowns for their graduation in high school? Like, are they ever going to use these? And you're like, done,
No.
get rid of them. Right. Like, it's hard.
Yeah. No, memorabilia is really hard. Absolutely. I mean, memorabilia is really hard for me, but memorabilia, I also, again, in my own professional opinion, that's like the least of your problems. Like, I think that memorabilia, because it's the hardest and it really requires a lot of decision and it's very emotional decisions, I believe that you really need to go through every other place in your house to declutter and organize and get your brain, like your brain is like, the decision, because there's like decision fatigue. So sometimes too many decisions just kind of shuts you down. So that's like when I used to go to, the one time I went into Center 21, I was like, oh, hell no. And I walked right out because it was just way too much. Too much for my brain to to go through. So do the rest of your house, because you want to get your brain and your decision function, your executive decision functions up to par. You need to strengthen them. So then when everything else is done, then you can go to all your memorabilia that has now been just put together in one big pile, and you can at least slowly go through your memorabilia. Your executive function is tight. It's honed in, it's zoned in. You know what now is what's really important to keep and what's not, because you've already done all the lighter, less emotional things in your house. So that when you get to memorabilia, you have a better sense of just decision makers and what you feel is actually really, really important. So memorabilia is tough, but do it last. Do yourself a favor.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's definitely, it's hard to get rid of some of that stuff. And I mean, not easy. Okay. So when a client comes to you and you start this process, how long do you do okay, back up. You do residential, you do garages, you do anything in the house. What other services do you offer? You can do this, by the way, I want to make a note that you can also do this virtual, right?
Yes, you can, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. I mean, on site is always better. I think but there are a lot of organizers that do virtual organizing. And I have done that for some clients who are out of town, who need help with their Hamptons house or their Florida house or whatever house that they have to do that. Yes, but no, I do. like you said, yes, residential. I do offices a lot too, where I've like put in cabinets, organized supply closets, trained the staff on how to maintain the system in the office. I design closet systems. I design garage systems. I just design pantries. So there's not much that I can't
That I don't do. And you also take stuff and you donate it to, which I thought was super.
Yes, 100%. And I offer free shredding when I work with a client as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because office paperwork, just in your home office, as we're all doing these days, but so much. I mean, just get rid of those tax returns from 2003, people.
Right, exactly. That's right, exactly. So, so do you shop?
Don't need them.
Do you shop in advance? Like, do you pretty much figure out what you need and you shop in advance to get like the little containers and stuff that you need beforehand?
No, that is a number one golden rule. A number one mistake that every non-professional organizer makes is buy product before. However, based on looking at pictures that people send me, can I preliminary buy some product that I feel is either very standard, that I've already put through the quality assurance that I need to do before I present it to a client? Yes. I know certain products that I tend to use, like 5 certain products that I tend to use for certain areas, like a pantry or a closet or whatever. Mm-hmm. Look, if I'm doing somebody's closet, can I bring hangers, my slim, black velvet hangers? Of course, because, I mean, where else am I going to use, hangers besides a closet to hang things? Where, for example, when I did your closet, I could just tell already and I just already know the average depth of a shelf and what kind of bin, container, basket is going to work best for certain areas of the room. Yes, but if you're taking on a project by yourself, do not buy product until you have categorized, you have decluttered, you have put things in a place that you think that that's where they should belong. Then you shop by area and by category, if that makes sense.
Interesting. Makes sense. Mm-hmm.
And I just already know, because I've done hundreds and hundreds and thousands probably at this point, that I know when a Lazy Susie is best for space rather than an open face bin, or if I need to stack bins and what kind of stacking bins do I need. If it's maybe a drawer type bin where, I will know all of that. That's why people tend to hire professional organizers, because I've already done all the work for you. You guys don't have to, do the trial and error, because I've already done it.
Yeah, I have to say, just you organizing that one area of my house has made me try to focus. I'm not you, but I did a drawer here and I did a few things.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, where's Stephanie? I need her. The hardest, if I had to pick in my house, the 2 hardest places for me was the linen closet that you did, would be my empty space, and would be my closet in my bedroom.
Yep.
What are your clients? What are the most asked for organizations? Like, is it the garage? Is it the office? What is it?
Yeah, but you know what? Garage, because one, I'm not going to say the top is the garage. One of the tops is the garage, basement, attic, because nobody wants to do it. It is such a pain in the ass. Nobody knows, because there's usually with the garage, it's so big stuff, clunky stuff, heavy stuff. People don't know necessarily how to create a garage system for their belongings. Garage, basement, attics tend to be the places where people tend to put me first before I get into their house.
Okay.
So after those 3 areas, kitchen. I mean, kitchen is by far the most, especially if you're a cook and you like to cook and your family cooks and eats and stuff like that, getting your kitchen in order, because placement of kitchen belongings is crucial. And if you guys follow me on Facebook later on, I cannot repeat that enough. Placement of your items in the kitchen is so important. And it's a Tetris. It is very strategic. And I love doing it. I tend to be very, very good at it. It's not easy. It's super fun for me, but the rewards just are life-changing.
At first, when you,
because you use it the
yeah.
most.
Yes. And at first, when you were organizing, I'm like, she's going to put labels on my stuff. I'm like, what? And now I'm like, when the kids ask for something, I mean, they're kids, they're college students, but I was like, go look at the linen closet. It's labeled. Everything's labeled. It'll be right there for you. I'm like, oh my God, this is a miracle.
100% autonomy. Because, I feel so bad for parents who have to live in a house and, they're like, mommy, daddy. First of all, it's usually, mommy, can you get this? Mommy, can you get that? It's like, you know what? When the kids start, I like to breed autonomy too, so that the mothers don't have to take on, we're still unfortunately living in a day and age where the mothers are still doing, the majority of the household responsibilities, whatever they are. I'm trying to give women, and pass off to their children some of this autonomy, so that once your house is organized, it gives the children the ability to act on their own. Like, you want a snack? Great. Here's the healthy snack drawer that Stephanie organized for us. And everything's there. It's right there. It's right at you could reach it. You could open the drawer. Everything's accessible. Go get it yourself.
Oh my God. Yeah. I think of you often. I think of you often every time I walk into one area of a mess of my house. And I'm like, ah, okay. So for someone that can't, afford to have a Stephanie all the time or any of the time, where do you recommend they go to get stuff that they can help them organize themselves?
Well, first, go to and follow my Instagram page. First and foremost, I give so many great tips and tricks. You're able to look at my work, see the types of bins that I use to help you better organize spaces that you want to organize. So if I do somebody's kitchen, look at my kitchen posts, see the kinds of products I use there, and then reach out and ask me questions. But at the Container Store, sorry, that's the number place I go. Thank God it's right down the street for me. But the Container Store, because Container Store, Amazon, sometimes Target, but I need to go where the inventory is.
Right.
When I'm doing somebody's kitchen or wherever I'm doing, I need to know that the inventory is going to be there. Is some of the same inventory at the Container Store at Home Goods, Marshalls, TJ Maxx, and stuff like that? 100%. But it's not going to match. You're not always going to get the different
the two or the three that you, that's right. That's what I was going to say.
Exactly. It's a good piecemeal. I might go there because if I need a Lazy Susie, I'm an expert, so I can do stuff like that. But honestly, at the end of the day, the Container Store is not as crazy overpriced as people may seem. And also too, these products are going to last forever. You are going to be able to, if your house changes, if the layout changes, if you move, bring the product with you. Keep an inventory section. That's what I always do. I have an inventory section in my house, not for my clients, just for me. If I want to reorganize something because the system that I put in place for me, because of my lifestyle change, doesn't work for me anymore, I'm just going to change it to fix it, to have it work based on my new routine. And that's when I'm pulling from my inventory. So if anybody works with me, I think I even mentioned this to you too, Wendy. I'm like, this is part of your inventory now. Don't throw the basket away. It's good. It's not good for this place, but it could be for another place.
Right.
Inventory.
So when after you go and you organize somebody's house or garage or the whole house or parts of it, do you go home and do you ever think, oh, maybe I want to do that in my house, even though you're probably so organized?
Yeah. I mean, not really.
Not really. Okay. Get it done by Stephanie. Check out her Instagram. She has the garbage can hack that I was like, oh my God, that's the smartest thing ever. I get ideas all the time just by looking at her Instagram. And you're going to be able to see my post from my before and after, and you're going to be totally shocked because I was totally shocked. I was like, there is no way that she can fix this closet. And she certainly did. But she has so many great pictures and ideas. And even just by looking at her Instagram, I get ideas for my house still. And I change things around and do things. So those are also helpful that you put those tips out for us. So Get It Done by Stephanie. Follow her on Instagram. It's pretty amazing.
I look at, my Instagram followers the people that I follow are mostly other organizers. Everybody pulls inspiration for every place.